Okay, this video is for 10.8G, angles outside the circle. So, got a couple problems we'll go over. In class, we talked about that if two lines intersect outside a circle, such as this, they intersect at point S, which is obviously outside the circle, then the angle that it creates is always going to be half of the distance of the two arcs. Now the two arcs are these. This red one, which is 129 degrees, and this blue one, which they tell us is 49 degrees. So we want to subtract the red and the blue one, and then divide it by 2, and that'll tell us the measure of the angle. So, 129 minus 49 divided by 2. That equals, well, 129 minus 49 equals 80, and then 80 divided by 2 equals 40. So angle S is 40 degrees. Let's look at another one. In number 7, we want to do the exact same thing, and we can see one of the arcs right here is 240 degrees, but then the other arc, we're not exactly sure what that is. But we can find it, because the 240 degree arc is part of the circle, so the red one is part of the circle, and the rest of the circle is the blue arc. And so if we subtract 240 from 360, 360 minus 240, that's going to equal what the blue one is. And 360 minus 240 is 120 degrees. So the blue arc is 120 degrees. And now we apply the same idea that we did in problem number 1. Subtract the two arcs, divide it by 2, and that will give us the measure of the angle. So, 240 minus 120 divided by 2. That equals 240 minus 120 is 120, and 120 divided by 2 is 60. So angle F is 60 degrees. Now let's flip to the back. Now in these problems, they give us the angle on the outside of the circle. They tell us that angle S is 70 degrees. They want us to use that and the measure of another arc to figure out one of the other arcs. So we know that one of our arcs is right here, and it's 50 degrees. What we want to figure out is what the measure of the red arc is. There's a question mark by it. I'm going to call the question mark X, and we're basically going to apply the same process, but the algebra is going to look a little different. So in general, that big arc, the red arc, minus our blue arc and divided by 2 will tell us what our angle measure is. So let's keep that same process. This time the big arc is X minus the little arc, which is 50, and divided by 2, and that equals our angle, which is 70 degrees. So now we just have to solve this problem. Multiply both sides by 2. These 2's cancel, and it leaves us with X minus 50 on the left, and that equals, and 70 times 2 is 140. Add 50 to both sides, and we get that X equals 190 degrees. So the red arc is 190 degrees. Let's do that again. This time we know our big arc, which I'll highlight in red, is 156 degrees. And our blue arc, our little one, is the question mark one. So we want to find what the question mark is, call that X again. And we know that our angle U, is 46 degrees. So apply the same process. We need to take the big arc, 156, minus the little arc, which is X, and then divide it by 2 has to equal our angle. So 46. Oops, 46. Multiply both sides by 2 again. These 2's cancel. We have 156. Oops. do that in blue, 156 minus x equals, and 46 times 2 is 92. Subtract 156 from both sides, and we get negative x equals negative 64. Now there's a couple ways to think about this. Basically we need to divide both sides by -1, and that'll just make the negatives drop out or cancel out. And so x equals positive 64 degrees. So the little blue arc, 64 degrees.